Honorable Nicasio P. Bautista III, Honorable Katrina B. Sable, Honorable Hexilon G. Alvarez has an excuse letter, Honorable Alistair Alejandro G. Tirihe, likewise, has an excuse letter, Honorable Brenda Rexac Luna, Honorable Bensi Tanchay, Mr. Presiding Officer, 9 members of the City Council are present. I certify the quorum. The hearing and application for tricycle franchise.
The Honorable Adriana Velasquez is hereby recognized.
Good afternoon, Mr. Presiding Officer. Good afternoon to my fellow members of the Sangguniang. The Committee on Public Utilities, Transportation and Communication, being the Secretariat to the CTFRB, is pleased to render Committee Report number 8CC-028 of 2014. To tackle this measure, Your Honor, may I move for the suspension of rules.
Objection, hearing none, the motion is hereby approved. Proceed.
The committee hearing, Your Honor, was conducted on October 1st and October 15. There are 210 applicants for tricycle franchise, and the recommendation of the committee is for approval. The committee report is signed by 3 members of the committee. I move for the adoption of the said committee report.
Objection, hearing none, the motion is hereby approved.
Your Honor, the 210 applicants for franchise substantially complied with the requirements of the CTFRB. They have attended the committee hearing, and the committee now recommends for the approval of the applicants, the 210 applicants for tricycle franchise. Each member of the committee, each member of the council was provided with a list of the 210 applicants, Your Honor. If there are no queries, may I now move for the approval of the said committee report.
The objection, hearing none, the motion is hereby approved. Next, Mr. Secretary.
Next, Your Honor, is the reading and approval of the minutes of the previous sessions.
The Honorable Brenda Rexac Luna is hereby recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. I respectfully move that the reading of the minutes of the 52nd regular session of the present council held on September 23 of this year be dispensed with.
Any objection? Hearing none, the motion is hereby approved. Proceed.
If there are no corrections respecting the minutes, I move that the same be approved.
Any objection? There is a motion to the seconded to approve the minutes of the 52nd regular session of the City Council held on September 23, 2014 in the session of the Sangguniang Pagkakasal. There being no objection, the motion is approved.
Another, Your Honors, the minutes of the 53rd regular session of the 8th City Council.
I move that the reading of the minutes of the 53rd regular session of the present council held on September 30 this year be dispensed with.
Any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. Proceed.
If there are no corrections respecting the said minutes, I move that the minutes of the 53rd regular session of the present council held on September 30, 2014 be approved.
Any objection? There is a duly seconded motion to approve the minutes of the 53rd regular session of the 8th City Council held on September 30, 2014 at the session board. Hearing no objection, the motion is approved. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Privilege hour, Your Honor.
Privilege speech, anyone? Next.
For the calendar of business, under first reading, A. Proposed ordinance approving the realignment of authorized appropriations under maintenance and other operating expenses in the annual budget for calendar year 2014 of the City Tricycle Franchising Regulatory Board amounting to 105,000 pesos and for other purposes. B. Proposed ordinance approving the realignment of authorized appropriations under the MOE in the annual budget for calendar year 2014 of the Office of the City Vice Mayor amounting to 720,000 pesos and for other purposes. Under letters, petitions, Your Honor.
Letter from Honorable Joseph Salvador Tan, City Mayor, dated October 13, 2014, requesting for the passage of the following measures. 1. Proposed ordinance furthermore amending ordinance number 4cc-89, reinstating the City Information Office and providing funds thereof pursuant to ordinance number 2000-08. And number 2, proposed ordinance authorizing supplemental budget number 5 for fiscal year 2014 involving the amount of 1,130,021 pesos and 29 centavos, representing the unappropriated balances, retained earnings for calendar year 2012 to fund the salaries and wages and other incidental expenses of the reinstated City Information Office of Santiago City, covering the periods from October 1, 2014 to December 31, 2014. Letter B, letter from Mr. Gil Lejano, dated October 10, 2014, requesting land reclassification from agricultural to commercial located at Barangay Baluarte, Santiago City. And letter C, letter from Mr. Alejandro P. Alonte, Executive Vice President, Marketing and Operations Divisions, Bingo Palace Corporation, Quezon City, dated October 13, 2014, expressing intention to operate electronic bingo operations and other games approved by the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation in Robinson's Place, Mabini, Santiago City. That's all, Your Honor.
Motions, yes, Councilor Rodríguez Alvarez, is hereby recognized.
Mr. Presiding Officer, may I move to include under first reading an ordinance approving the realignment of authorized appropriation under the maintenance and other operating expenses of the Sangguniang Panlungsod amounting to 3,816,648 pesos and for other purposes. I so move, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Any second? Objection? Hearing none, the motion is hereby approved. Any other inclusion? No other inclusion. Yes, Councilor Rodríguez Alvarez, is hereby recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. I wish to include under item A, letters and petition, an attached reference with regards to the proposed ordinance, further amending ordinance number 4cc-89, reinstating the City Information Office and providing funds thereof pursuant to ordinance number 2000-08. So I wish to include an additional material, Your Honor, for this purpose. I so move, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Any second? Objection? Hearing none, the motion is hereby approved. No more inclusion. Councilor Raisen, can you move for the approval of the business of the day as amended?
Mr. Presiding Officer, I move that the business of the day be approved as amended.
Any objection? Hearing none, the motion is hereby approved. Presiding Mr. Secretary.
For the first item, under first reading A, proposed ordinance approving the alignment of authorized appropriations under the MOE in the annual budget for calendar year 2014 of the City Tricycle Franchising Regulatory Board amounting to 105,000 pesos and for other purposes.
Mr. Presiding Officer, may I move that all items under first reading be referred to the appropriate committees.
Any objection? Hearing none, the motion for the referral of all items under first reading, including the one recently included in the business of the day, hereby declared. Next item is
Next item, Your Honor, under letters, petitions, A. Letter from the Honorable Joseph Salvador Tan, City Mayor, dated October 13, 2014, requesting for the passage of 2 legislative measures.
the Honorable Alvarez Reyes is hereby recognized.
Your Honor, on the communication dated October 13 by our local chief executive, he certified the urgency of discussing 2 proposed measures, Your Honor. And this is, the first item is the proposed ordinance, furthermore amending ordinance number 4CC-89, reinstating the City Information Office and providing funds thereof pursuant to ordinance number 2000-08. In this light, Your Honor, may I move for the suspension of rules to grant speaking rights to the representative of the Executive Department to discuss this measure under suspended rules, Your Honor.
Like any second? Any second to that? Any objection? Hearing none, the motion to suspend the rules is hereby approved.
We have this afternoon, Your Honor, our Assistant Legal Officer, Attorney Yasay, as representative of the Executive Department.
All right, please come forward, Attorney Yasay, and say something about the proposed legislation.
To the honorable members of the Sangguniang Panlungsod, to our presiding officer, Honorable Marcelino C. Campana Jr., good afternoon. This proposed ordinance, furthermore amending ordinance number 4CC-89, is stated here as we already furnished copies to the respective offices, Your Honors. May I be allowed to read the whereas clauses? We have the first clauses, whereas on December 8, 2003, the Sangguniang Panlungsod approved ordinance number 4CC-89 entitled An Ordinance Providing for the New Organizational Structure and the New Staffing Pattern of the City Government of Santiago and for other purposes. We have also that whereas the said ordinance abolished several offices provided under Ordinance 2000-08, including the City Information Office. Whereas several offices being abolished were already reinstated by virtue of the following legislative measures. We have the following. Ordinance number 5CC-28 reinstated the office of the Secretary to the City Mayor, the Drug Abuse Rehabilitation Center, the City Agriculture Office, City Cooperative Office, and Drug Testing Center, which dated January 31, 2005. We have also, relevant to this, the ordinance number 6CC-40, reinstated the Office of the City Schools, dated June 18, 2008. Whereas, the City Government of Santiago has found the necessity of reinstating the City Information Office to support the local chief executive in providing information and research data required for the delivery of basic services that include information during and in the aftermath of man-made and natural disasters and calamities, as provided under Republic Act No. 7720, otherwise known as the Santiago City Charter. Which also include, Your Honors, that we have heard here the last part. Now therefore be it ordained by the Sangguniang Panlungsod in its session be assembled that we have the section 1. The title of this ordinance shall be an ordinance furthermore amending ordinance number 4CC-89. We have the section 2. The purpose of this ordinance is to reinstate and maintain the City Information Office to provide basic services as provided under RA 7720. Section 3. The Section 6 of Ordinance Number 4CC-89 is hereby furthermore amended and shall now be read as follows. Section 6. Abolition of offices. In view of the foregoing, the following offices or departments of the city government created under existing laws and ordinances are hereby abolished. We have already two: Community Relations Office, Office of the Barangay Budgeting and Accounting Services, and the personal positions in these offices are likewise abolished. We observed that the City Information Office was already deleted from the Section 3 of this proposed ordinance, Your Honors. We have also the Section 4, the pertinent provisions of City Ordinance Numbers 2000-08, 4th CC-89, 5th CC-28, and 6th CC-40 relative to the creation and/or abolition of the City Information Office in these ordinances are hereby repealed and/or amended accordingly to conform with this ordinance reinstating the said office. Section 5. This ordinance shall take effect immediately upon its approval.
All right. Questions? Yes, Councilor Bladrag Subculation by recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. I just noticed that part of the title of the proposed ordinance, reinstating the City Information Office and providing funds thereof pursuant to Ordinance Number 2000-08. Mr. Presiding Officer, I see no provision providing funds for the reinstatement or for the recreation of the City Information Office.
Yes, Your Honor, please. It should be on our second measure, Your Honor. It will be discussed on the second measure, the proposed ordinance authorizing the supplemental budget, number 5.
With all due respect to the resource speaker, Mr. Presiding Officer, the proposed ordinance she is referring to pertains to supplemental budget for a specific period, which is from October 1, 2014 of this year to December 31, 2014.
Yes, Your Honor. We note the observation of the honorable member. It should be reinstating the City Information Office, open and close parentheses, which should not be the provided funds.
I think, Mr. Presiding Officer, it is necessary for us to provide funds for this office. So my recommendation, or may I suggest, that a provision be added stating that a certain amount will be provided for the reinstatement or recreation of City Information Office.
Attorney Yasay.
We will just add additional provision, Your Honor, for that purpose.
I'd like also to know, Mr. Presiding Officer, I'd like to know the primary function of the City Information Office. And may I again suggest that a provision be added indicating the primary function of City Information Office. And another thing, Mr. Presiding Officer, it is also vital that the duties and powers of the City Information Officer be added or included in the proposed measure. That would be all, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Thank you. Attorney Yasay, do you have anything to say?
Yes, Your Honor. We have already here the duties and responsibilities of the City Information Officer, Your Honor, was already stated in the RA 7720. But if that is the observation of the Honorable Member, Your Honor, we will include this, the duties or function. If I may be allowed to give the duties and responsibilities now, Your Honor, but if she will recommend that it will be stated on the draft ordinance, Your Honor, we will, Your Honor.
Okay, other questions? All right, from the chair. On the title of the ordinance, it reads, an ordinance furthermore amending ordinance number 4CC89. I think this should be simply amending or further amending, not furthermore, because furthermore is a conclusion indicator in logic. It's like therefore, furthermore, or altogether you may opt to drop the word furthermore. It's simply amending. Kasi pag sinabi furthermore, may conclusion, no? This is a conclusion indicator. So this is a grammatical no-no here. Any other question? Yes, Councilor, please, you're recognized.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Can you please tell us why are we reinstating the City Information Office?
We are reinstating this, we propose to reinstate this at office, Your Honor. Is where we found the necessity that the CIO to support the local chief executive in providing information and research data required for the delivery of basic services that include information during and in the aftermath of man-made and natural disasters and calamities as provided under RA number 7720, Your Honor.
Presently, what office is performing the functions that you just mentioned in providing information, research data, etc.?
At present, Your Honor, we do not have the designated office, Your Honor.
I am talking about the functions.
The functions.
Offices are performing these functions at present.
I am not aware, Your Honor, but it is the secretary to the city mayor, or hence, or the other one is the city administrator's office. I just do not know the respective office. Wala.
Why do you think is it considered as urgent the reinstatement of the City Information Office? Why should not it be tackled first at the committee level so that we can go over this more thoroughly? Because this involves disbursement of funds. What is so urgent about this that we cannot have it tackled first under the committee level?
Yes, Your Honor. We find urgency on this matter, Your Honor, because considering that we are facing now calamities, typhoons, and we're expecting to have more with these months.
But we do not have a CIO since 2004. We have been coping with these calamities exceptionally well. In fact, we have been awarded I cannot remember the award given by the DILG. Kalasag? Kalasag. Meaning that we have been responding with the wrath of Mother Nature quite well. So from 2004 up to now, 2014, there has been 10 years that we do not have a CIO. So suddenly, why is it so urgent to have this office be immediately reinstated? As in now, no more committee hearings for this. And for 10 years, we've been doing all right.
Yes, Your Honor. The purpose of this letter, Your Honor, is to reinstate the said office to get a full support from a certain office, which will be the very helpful office to the DRRMO, LCE, and the City Administrator's Office.
The DRRMO cannot perform the function of providing information with respect to calamities.
We do not have enough manpower for that, Your Honor. That's why we are asking for the reinstatement of this office.
You do not have any manpower, so we are creating another department for that matter. This department will entail how much will be the budget of this department for whole year, for one whole year? Because if we will approve this will be already included in the 2015 budget, right?
Yes,
So how
sir.
much is the projection of the cost of reinstating this particular CIO?
I do not have the idea how much, Your Honor. Maybe ask
I would like to know.
sa City Budget Officer, Your Honor, if you may.
Because if the intention is only to deliver information, particularly on disaster preparedness, we will be spending millions of pesos for this.
Yes, our City Budget Officer.
Attorney Yasay, do you have the figures now?
Yes, Your Honor. But we have on the Budget Officer, Your Honor, because we're expecting that she will be the one to present the budget.
Councilor Aguilar?
Mr. Presiding Officer, bago po siguro natin ibigay yung pagsagot doon sa katanungan ng ating kasama sa konseho, hinggil sa City Information Office, baka po makatulong yung aking karanasan. Dahil 1996, ako po ay pumasok sa local government na ito bilang Assistant City Information Officer. Yun po yung pinakamataas na antas na naabot ko bago po naalis o na-dissolve yung opisina. Sa aming karanasan, napakahalaga po ng pagkakaroon ng City Information Office dahil ito yung tanggapan na may responsibilidad na may paabot sa may pizza na nasa pinakamalayong mga barangay ang mga programa at serbisyo ng ating lokal na pamahalaan. Sa kasalukuyan ho ay wala tayong newsletter, wala tayong radio programs, wala tayong nagkakandak o siyang humaharap kapag may mga panauhin tayo dahil ang City Information Office ang siyang nagsisilbing hub sa lahat ng mga opisina may kaugnayan sa magpapaalam nito sa taong bayan. So marami ang hindi nakakaalam ng mga serbisyo ng ating lokal na pamahalaan, kaya naroon yung pangangailangan na merong gumanap na maipaabot sa mga mamamayan kung ano mga serbisyo at programa ng lokal na pamahalaan. Gayon na din, ito din ang bagsakan ng mga panauhin natin sa panahon na kailangan nilang makakuha ng mga data or information sa Santiago. Ito din ang responsable sa pagdadala ng Santiago sa ibang lugar. Pag may mga special events, ang City Information Office ang siyang nagpaplano at i-implement ng promotion ng Santiago sa larangan ng edukasyon, sa larangan ng komersyo, sa larangan ng turismo. So napakahalaga po nito na ito yung nawala sa mahabang panahon na sinalo ng iba't ibang opisina na nakaganap. Pero sa kasalukuyang administrasyon, ito po ay hindi na-sustain na gawain dahil hindi naman po yung mandate ng mga gumanap. Kaya kung babalikan natin yung functional statement ng iba't ibang opisina na sumalo nito, hindi nagre-reflect doon yung sa City Information Office. Kaya po yung pangangailangan ngayon na magkaroon talaga ng opisina na siyang talagang mangangasiwa pagdating sa impormasyon. So yun na po ay pagbabahagi nung mga naging gawain po namin noong panahon na meron pang City Information Office. Sa pagkakataon pong ito, Mr. Presiding Officer, if I may, ask that we grant speaking rights to our City Budget Officer with regards to the funding requirement of a City Information Officer.
Okay.
Before that, Mr. Presiding Officer, I do understand the significance of having a CIO, City Information Office. But the matter that is urgent, that it should not go into the committee level. The Committee on Finance will not look into this more thoroughly. The Committee on Rules will not look on this thoroughly, and other interested committees. And that this will be tackled here in the plenary level. I just read it just go a few minutes ago with respect to the reinstatement of the city ordinance. So, it's my position, Mr. Presiding Officer, that a committee should study further this ordinance. As I've said earlier, we have no CIO for the last 10 years. We can wait for another few days or few weeks, Your Honor, for this.
1 month? 1 week?
1 week?
Yes.
Because to be frank about this, Mr. Presiding Officer, hinahabol ba natin yung budget 2015? May pasok ito. Kaya natin pinamadali pa ngayon para ma-include na natin ito sa 2015 budget. Yung ba ang dahilan kaya kahit hindi naman more urgent sa pananaw ko lang naman, pinipilit natin gawing urgent na bagay.
Alright. Can we do it in 1 week?
Mr. Presiding Officer, sa tingin ko po, valid naman yung request ni Councilor Nikki pertaining to deeper discussion on this on the level of the committee. Kung handa naman po ang Executive Department, we can call a committee hearing on Friday for that matter. Kaya lang po kasi, ang deadline natin ng mga inclusions ay on a Thursday. So, kung matatalakay naman siya, hindi man po ngayon, magagawa po natin itong matalakay hanggang Tuesday. Pwede naman po Friday magkaroon na ng bukas magkaroon na ng committee hearing kasi ang resource person naman natin ay from within. Friday pwede pa rin kung hindi pa rin nasasapatan. Monday pwede pa rin naman tayo magdire-diretso kung may hindi pa rin tatalakay o nasa-satisfy ang mga queries ng Consejo. And then, if we can have it reported out on Tuesday, kaya naman po. Basta we make ourselves available po sa mga gaganapin nating committee hearing.
Hindi naman po ako kailangan manig ng committee hearing. Yung mga committee concerned naman, I'm confident they will be asking the proper questions. In fact, the queries of Attorney Brenda Wagsakuna remain unanswered up to now. And these are valid questions, Mr. President.
Okay. Observations from the chair. This matter needs to be referred to the committee, maybe for 1 week. First, the request of Attorney or Councilor Brenda Wagsakuna that we include the figure on the exact figure for the appropriations as we before good for the ensuing year must be included in the proposed ordinance. See, the nature of this matter is that it will be a more or less permanent creation. So we should not rush to an approval. So the entire ordinance has to be reviewed. And secondly, this is of the right word. Pati yung camera, yung pag-uwi.
Your Honor, this representation yields to the suggestion of the members of the August body to refer this matter to the appropriate committee. Yes, Your Honor. The two items under the first, under the two requests coming from the local chief executive.
Any second? Any objection? Hearing none, the motion is hereby approved. We hope to...
Thank you, Mr. President.
The committee is hereby directed to act on the matter with dispatch. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Next, Your Honor, another letter from Mr. Gil Lejano dated October 10, 2014, requesting land reclassification from agricultural to commercial land located at Barangay Baluarte, Santiago City.
All right, we have several letters. Yes, Councilor Pinchi, maybe you should take this up with the committee.
Before we proceed sa letters, Vice, I move for a 1-minute recess.
Recess is already declared for 1 minute. All right, session resumed. Councilor Pandong, Lugod, kindly move for the referral to the respective committees of the letters included in the agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. May I move that letter B and C under letters petitions be referred to its proper committee since there's no barangay resolution or ordinances.
All right, any second objection? Hearing none, the motion is hereby approved.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Secretary,
That would be all, Mr. Presiding Officer.
for the closing prayer, we call on Councilor Mexican.
Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, as we come to the end of our time, together we thank you for what has been accomplished here today. May the matters discussed serve as a catalyst to move forward and cause us to advance and seek growth in all our lives. We will live here recognizing you are the God of all wisdom and you are willing to lead us forward. In this we pray in the name of Jesus.